His bride was Evelyn May, barely 18, wearing a simple white dress sewn by trembling hands. Folks whispered she was an orphan, raised by a cruel uncle who'd forced her into the marriage for land and a pouch of dollars. Calder stood tall, hat in hand, eyes steady as the canyon walls. He didn't know fear. He'd survived raids, storms, and a life that killed softer men. But on that evening, he feared one thing: hurting the girl who wouldn't even look up. In the carriage ride to his ranch, she held herself small, like she'd learned that being invisible was safer. Calder didn't push her. He just kept the reins loose and whispered, "You're safe now, Evelyn. Nobody here's gonna lay a hand on you." But she didn't speak until nightfall. Inside the ranch house, lanterns flickered against walls carved by years of solitude. Calder tried to give her space: warm food, fresh water, a clean bed. He stepped back, letting her breathe. She trembled anyway. Then, with broken breath, she whispered the words that became legend. "Please don't hurt me." Calder froze. The old storyteller says the toughest men can be broken in a moment. And that night, Calder Boone broke clean in two. He didn't touch her. He didn't even take one step closer. Outside, coyotes cried. Inside, a bride cried harder. And the rancher realized she wasn't scared of him. She was scared of something or someone from before. The next morning, the town buzzed with a rumor. Evelyn's uncle had vanished overnight. Some said he rode east. Some said west. Some said the canyon swallowed him whole. Calder didn't trust rumors. He trusted tracks. And on the sand behind his ranch house, he found fresh boot prints. Someone had been watching the windows during the night. Evelyn flinched at every sound. She worked hard, too hard, like she feared punishment if she didn't. Calder kept telling her she didn't know him anything. But fear ran deeper than his words. One afternoon, while mending a broken fence, he caught her staring toward the road with terror in her eyes. "Did he follow you?" Calder asked. Her lips trembled. He always does. The storyteller's voice grows low here. He names men who lived like rattlesnakes, moving quiet, striking quick, and Evelyn's uncle was one of them. He'd sold land, labor, and lives for whiskey coins. Calder had seen his kind before, years back, when he wasn't a rancher, but a gunfighter. Dust Creek had forgotten that part. Calder preferred it that way. For days, the ranch felt watched. Evelyn barely slept. Calder began keeping his old revolver on his hip again, the one he swore to bury forever. Then the threat started. A dead crow hung on the fence. A knife stabbed into the barn door. Boot prints circling the ranch like wolves. Evelyn finally broke. "He'll kill me, Calder. He told me if I ever got married, he'd kill the man first, then come for me." Calder didn't say a word. He just tightened his jaw, holstered his old gun, and waited for the night to come. The storyteller says that was the moment Calder stopped being a rancher and became what he once was, the ghost of the frontier. The uncle struck after sundown. For riders approached the ranch, torches in hand, guns drawn. They weren't there for threats. They were there for blood. Calder blew out the lanterns, grabbed Evelyn's hand, and pulled her behind the stone well. "Stay low. Stay quiet," he whispered. Shots cracked through the air. Horses screamed. Shadows moved like devils. Calder stepped in the dust, hat low, gun steady. One man recognized him and froze. "Boone?" "No, you're dead." Calder answered with a single shot. The rest scattered. The uncle fled into Black Canyon, where echoes swallowed screams and men vanished without graves. Calder followed. The storyteller paints this scene with fire, canyon walls glowing red, wind howling like the spirits of lost cowboys. At the bottom of the canyon, the uncle waited. Drunk, armed, wild-eyed. "You took what's mine," he roared. "She ain't property," Calder growled. "She's free." The shootout was fast, too fast for ordinary men to follow. But Calder wasn't ordinary. He shot the gun from the uncle's hand, shot his boot to pin him down, and stood over him with a calm colder than mountain steel. "I don't kill for pleasure," he said, "but I kill to protect." The uncle spat blood and hissed. "She'll never be free." Calder looked toward the ranch far beyond the canyon, toward the girl who whispered, "Please don't hurt me." And the rancher finally understood something deep. Protecting Evelyn wasn't just duty. It was redemption. He fired one last shot, clean, final, echoing for miles. The canyon swallowed the man, and his darkness with him. At sunrise, Calder returned to the ranch, covered in dust, blood, and silence. Evelyn stood on the porch, fear in her eyes, until she saw he wasn't wounded. "Is he?" she whispered. "Gone," Calder replied. Evelyn broke, not in fear, but in relief. She cried softly into his chest, her hands gripping his shirt, trusting him for the first time. Calder didn't move until her tears stopped. "Thank you," she whispered. "No man ever fought for me." "Then they weren't men," he answered gently. In the weeks that followed, Evelyn learned to breathe without fear. She learned to speak, laugh, and walk without shrinking. Calder rebuilt the broken fence, but it was Evelyn who rebuilt the broken silence between them. One evening, as the sun burned gold across the plains, she stood beside him and said the words the storyteller always repeats. "You didn't hurt me. You saved me." That night, not the wedding night, she took his hand first. And for the first time, the ranch didn't feel lonely. The storyteller says their tale became legend, not because of the gunfight, but because of how gently a dangerous man learned to love. And because one frightened bride found her voice and her freedom in the arms of a rancher who chose kindness over desire.